The sexual assault victim at the center of a high-profile rape case involving a Stanford University swimmer is finally going public. And I want to talk about the case. This is an ugly case. This is one, it sounds like we've talked about this again and again over the last couple of years. But this is the case of Brock Turner. And Brock was charged with rape.
Yes.
In front of eyewitnesses. Tell us, set this up for us.
Yes, okay? It's a fascinating case. So the victim in this case, which was several years ago, has finally come forward. She's got a book about it. And really, it's about class privilege in the criminal justice system and how she felt as a victim being impacted by that. But going back to what spawned all of this, and that's her attacker there, Brock Turner, he was on a swimming scholarship there at Stanford University, 19 years old at the time. He and the victim, her name is Chanel Miller, and at the time in the case, she was known as Emily Doe because she didn't want her name to be public because of all the repercussions and the fallout of the victim shaming and just the embarrassment of the whole situation and what she felt like was ridicule over the case.
Okay, so this freak rapes her in front of eyewitnesses.
Yes, they had attended the same party. He claimed they left together. She has no recollection of it, and there's plenty of evidence that has that would substantiate her claim that she was not a willing participant in anything that he did after they left this party. And two other students found him assaulting her behind a dumpster, and she was unconscious. He claimed that was not what was going on, but she was unconscious. He tried to run. The two students tackled him, called the cops, held him till they got there. He denied that he did anything, but they did a sexual assault evidence kit, and they found that there was enough evidence to charge him. And essentially, when he went to trial, he was convicted on 3 charges of felony sexual assault.
So he's convicted, 3 charges, felony sexual assault. So freak 1, we know, is Brock Turner. Freak 2 is Judge Persky.
Yes,
right,
so Aaron Persky.
The ex-Judge Persky.
That's right.
Who all of a sudden takes it on himself to play God and say, you know, we're going to give the kid a break. For what?
Right. He
was. What break? He's a swimmer at Stanford. You know, the guy's obviously got some mental issues.
Yes.
He's going to do this again. It's just a matter of when. But Judge Persky here thinks that he's smarter than what the legislature says a judge should do when somebody's convicted of a crime like this, right?
Exactly. So with those 3 convictions on the felony sexual assault, he was facing up to 14 years in prison. Prosecutors were asking for 6. But the judge, Aaron Persky, went with the probation department's recommendation and that he should have more of a minor jail time, if you will.
Okay, let me tell you how that works. The probation department is so subject to outside influences coming in.
That's what it sounded like.
It is. It's far different from the prosecutor's office. It's far different from what you see legislatively. This is the guidelines. The kid should be locked up for 14 years or 6 years.
Right.
Prosecutors say, look, we did this, we handled this case. We know all the details. We know what he's about. And you should throw him in jail for 6 years.
Right.
Persky, though, says, oh, no, let me read the probation report,
6 months.
which is always the easy out for a judge who wants to give an easy out. So it's 6 months.
6 months. And he ended up only serving 3 months.
Yeah, okay. Rapes a girl, plain sight.
Yes.
I promise you it's going to happen again. We'll be talking about this story years from now in another iteration.
Yes.
So Persky, the public says, by God, you can't do that. What do they do?
Yeah, so there was a huge public outcry once it became known that he had given this kid who had been convicted of sexually assaulting an unconscious 22-year-old woman behind a dumpster. He said, you know, that sentence, I'm going to give you a sentence that to me is consistent with similar charges considering how drunk you were, basically. So it was quite the public outcry.
Oh, it's okay to be drunk and rape somebody? Is that what the judge is saying?
And that's the way the public certainly took it. And they voted him out of office just last year. In fact, he was the first one to basically be recalled from a bench by voters in more than 85 years in that particular part of California. So he since applied for a job as a tennis coach at a local high school for a girls' junior varsity.
Oh, yeah, let's put the judge in
high school team.
High school girls team.
They hired him. He'd gone through the background check. They actually had him getting ready to start his job. And then the victim, who had been known as Emily Doe or Jane Doe in the case before she came forward with her true name to talk about her experience, that happened just this month. So as a result of basically the case being back in the headlines again, the school district became aware that this man was now working for them, and they met with the parents and the teachers, and they decided to fire him as a result.
Well, where else do you think you can turn on your TV right now?
Right.
and see anybody reporting a story like we're talking about right now, where we call out a judge, and just because he's a judge, that means nothing to me. A judge is just, he's just somebody who either got elected or appointed.
Right.
But you have to call these stories out, and I'll be darned if the corporate media is willing to do this. The good Judge Persky, what's he doing now?
Well, it's not teaching tennis.
It's to girls. Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Pat.